Oh, welcome FFR fans or Final Fantasy fans. We've got a slobber knocker of a match tonight. We've got the undefeated champion of the world, Spellzapp, up against the big worm, Caleb. The hottest man in Irongol right now. Let me tell you, this man is on a, how do I say this? He's on fire, basically. He is 4-0 of his last 4 matches. He's done 7 total matches. He's got a record of 4-3, started 0-3, and now he's 4-3. He went from basically very bottom and made his way all the way up into the number 3 slot to take on the champion Spellzapp himself, just crushing competitions left and right, or opponents. My name is Danglu to bring some commentary in here, and right beside me, Darren Dreiss. Welcome to the broadcast booth for tonight. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and I have to say that Caleb is an inspiration to me. We both started out in the initial Irongol match, and we both forfeit, so we were tied for last place, and Caleb has fought his way all the way back to be on one of the challenge seats, in one of the challenge races, and it's not even that far into the competition.
The man is on a mission. He acted like he was going to go last place, and he just made his way up here, and he said, you know what, Spellzapp? I've been doing very well in this double anti-bingo. What is double anti-bingo, you may ask? Well, Spellzapp has told Caleb that he has to complete row 1. Then Caleb came around and said, you know what, Spellzapp? You have to do row 5. Then, with the double anti-bingo, what does that mean? Well, that means then they have to do not 1 bingo, but 2 bingos. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. It might take a little bit. It might not take long at all. But with the flags, Darren Dreiss, they have Unleashed Warmech. All encounters are unrunnable, but we did get free orbs. And entrance and floor shuffle among some other interesting things. What's your opinion on this?
It's gonna be a pretty crazy run. I mean, there's tri-states for all 4 Fiend dungeons and all of the locked locations, as well as they did shuffle enemies across zones, so we could see not only Warmechs everywhere, but we could see slimes popping up in Temple of Fiends the first time you go in. You could go check a chest and, walk out the room, and all of a sudden you've got a pack of 9 slimes on top of you.
Now, it's interesting, in chat, Zenobian, one of the main founders or the design person behind this, actually pointing out they actually re-rolled this bingo card a couple times to try and get one that would work with their 4 forced. So I'm going to let them off here very shortly, and I'm going to kind of go over once again what these runners have to do or forced from their opponents. So Caleb has to do row 1. He has to defeat every spike tile in Ice Cave, use no cabins or houses, kill 4 different zombies, do not use fast, and kill 3 different dragons. He has to do that row. Spellzapp, on the other hand, has to do row 5. Do a full lap of Ice Floor 2. Do not use Fade. See Scorch and Blaze. Promote as soon as possible, which means as soon as he sees Bahamut, he has to promote. Because with a free tail, he can do it. And he can't use any swords. And shuffled encounter zones are on, crab cakes. We're off. Canaria, Temple of Fiends, okay.
That promote as soon as possible is actually pretty nice because they have inverted MDEF tonight, so it doesn't hurt your black belt to promote him as soon as you can.
Oh, free seats free. We got Nuke right off the bat with Lock. Heal 3 is White Mage Lock, or available only, and Viz 2. Oh, look at all these nice spells. Okay, so we're not going to be here for 4 hours.
That's good to hear. I was really hoping for not a 4-hour seed, but we'll see. That could have just put a commentary curse on this.
Yeah, that's what I like to do, though. Ooh, Ghost right off the start with a nuke available? And they got Blizzard. See ya, Spellzapp.
Ooh, that was our first Warmack sighting right there.
Oh, was it really? We already found one?
Yep.
Oh,
Two of them in a row.
You know, it's not that bad. If, let's say he casts Ink like that and doesn't do anything, we can get an early kill because none of these bosses are clamped. I like this by Spellzapp. He might actually get this kill. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, we got our first Warmack kill.
That's a free level 13 for your entire party.
Gain 13 levels right off the bat. Let's go. Oh, and Caleb follows suit. Oh, this is spicy.
This could be the ultimate time save. You just kill a couple Warmacks, everybody's at level 50, and you don't have to worry about all the level up animation.
Oh, this is... I don't even know what to say. I think these guys are going to grind, and this is going to be like the quickest...
Yeah, Warmack is their second and third encounter, so they could very well get to level 50.
That is a... Oh my gosh, Warmack has under 356 health. And there's another... Oh, hey! Warmack says that's a nice nuke. Let me show you how it's done real quick. Oh, Spellzapp's wiped out of it, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't see that the blurst weapons are on, or weapons and armor is on as well. So that makes it a little bit more interesting too.
Yeah, blurst weapons are on. We have procedurally generated waterfall. Oh, these levels are insane already. Wow. I mean, okay, so much had to come together for that to be even possible. Warmack had to roll low health. We had to get, you know, nuke level 1. We had to have either a black mage or a red mage to be able to use these nuke charges. And we have to get good turn order where he's not casting nuke right off the bat. And all of it came together, and our runners are off, and there goes Egg 3.
How would you feel walking into Canaria with 83,000 gold 3 minutes into a siege?
You know, we always say money's an issue. We decided to toss that in the gutter and just say, nah, that's not a worry anymore. Well, that's a big shot right there. Warmack with an ink, that's going to be down for Kale. That's more free levels coming up. Wow. I don't even know what to say at this point, guys. This is a wild, wild start. Bird does ask in chat. Wow, 87 experience from Garland. That seems so lackluster.
So we're level 19, and we've only checked one entrance so far.
We're 4.5 minutes in, and so for the question in chat, Sadman Ahoy, no. This is just entrance and town shuffles with the Cardia empties shuffled in also. There is no shuffling of towns. So once again, for the ones that are wondering, Caleb has to do row 1, and Spellzapp has to do row 5. Alright, so Provoca-wise. First one to do some exploration is Spellzapp. It looks like Caleb says, I'm gonna grind some more Warmack here. Warmack cracks an egg. Life 2, level 2, jeez.
And Cake is right there in Provoca, so that unlocks part of row 4 if either one wants to take it on.
Yeah, very true. So, I mean, if you look at the bingo board, I mean, there's a lot. You gotta visit the Bat Party room that is in the Vampire floor. Defeat Tiamat 1. That one's almost. I mean, not guaranteed, but I'm assuming somebody would do it. That column 5 is looking pretty decent. And there's our ship for exploration on the seas, the high seas.
Row 3 really isn't too bad either. Seeing Bracker Bane is probably the hardest, where normally having level 40 would be tough, but I think with this many war mechs and knowing exactly where they are, it shouldn't be too bad to get there.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting because now with these early levels, like doing a full lap of ice floor 2, not looking as terrible. Although with Unleashed Warmech could mess you up, but we already have a lot of levels anyway, so we might be able to kill him anyways. Since we've already done it, he's got less than 356 health.
My question is, since Warmechs seem relatively easy, which boss do you think rolled really high? Because it's up to 350%.
I mean, I always like the carry for whatever reason. The carry always has my number. The gatekeeping carry, I think, is always an entertaining one because not a lot of people expect the carry to be the powerhouse, but carry can definitely be a powerhouse every now and then if everything rolls good.
I don't know if I've seen SVJ in the chat, but Caleb is calling out to you right now.
Yes, for Cyrnus in chat, yes. Caleb's row 1, and App is row 5. And the sound of our people from Poison Sound Effects, we appreciate it. Caleb, Lock 2, and Cake, as you pointed out earlier, Darren Dreiss. You know what the important thing is, Darren Dreiss? We got so hyped up with all these war mechs, you know, so early, and then we got those kills early. We forgot to point out the tracker. Danny, 3883 in the background. How's it going, Danny? We appreciate you working for us.
Yes, thank you, Danny, for everything you do. If anyone out there is interested in tracking, there will be plenty of opportunity with the spring tournament coming up. And Danny is always a wonderful, wonderful teacher.
You're absolutely right. And Sandman Ahoy, yes. With these flags, we actually have Lock and Lock 2 always hitting. Because with the higher percentages, it's a good way of preventing evade capped enemies or high evade enemies. It just prevents a very RNG fest of trying to take down enemies. So by lowering the evade in a somewhat quick way, we're not bogged down. So, and it offers a lot of interesting things with the Lock and Lock 2 always hitting. You know, are you casting fast first? Are you casting temper first? Or are you casting lock first? And then on top of that, you also have to think about, am I casting Invis 2 or Ruse? So
I don't know if you noticed it as well, Dingwu, but they're wrapping the scaled stats, so that makes it where if they put too many tempers on, all of a sudden your black belt comes from being overpowered to now he's hitting less than he was before. So Lock 2 could come in very handy once you get close to that temper cap as well.
You're absolutely right. Caleb apparently likes to choose some interesting flags. I know I accidentally did it on one of my Irongol things. The Wrap Overflow. Basically, if you cast a bunch of Invis 2 stacks, you can actually reset your evasion. So that kind of is bad, so you have to make sure to count how many evasion stacks you actually do.
Yeah, and that definitely changes your calculations if you have a defense sword as well, because you can't just take one player up and then keep using the white shirt or Invis 2 to get everyone else to evade cap as well.
Well, I would say Tyros with Blaze is terrifying, but then I realize how strong our runner's already is. 11 minutes in, and the black belt is hitting 5 hits. It's already at 6 hits for that black belt.
Plus that fills in a square on that row 5.
Yes, you are right. I thought I seen that, yep. There it is, it's marked. So, Spellzapp, that is his row 5. He's working on it. As soon as he finds Bahamut, he'll do that. And once he finds Ice Floor 2, he will have his one forced bingo, and then he has to go towards another bingo. Oh yeah, you're right, Bert. I remember having that discussion. That's right. Yeah, it actually... Bert brings up a good point. I forgot that that's not actually how that works. The self-casting ruse and temper and all that stuff doesn't actually overflow. It's the base randomization.
Oh, well that's good to know. I will use that the next time we get there. Thank you, Bert. And Dangwoo.
It's not as terrifying as we initially thought.
I've been learning about a lot of these new options since starting the Irongol, because they're things I would never have looked at it before.
Yeah, and that's one of the greatest things about the Irongol for everybody out there. You know, the challenger makes up flags, kind of what Caleb has done with the two-time defending champion Spellzapp. He made up flags that he actually beat Zenobian for rank as the number 3 contender, the double anti-bingo, and he's been on fire, so he said, why not? Might as well use something I'm winning at, and that's what he's going for right now. So we're gonna see if the hot man himself, Caleb, can take on the two-time defending champion Spellzapp with these.
Gregory, it is... Caleb has to get row 1, is the one that Spellzapp picked for him, and Spellzapp has to get row 5, and then for their second row, they can fill in whichever row they would like.
I mean, they're both getting pretty close. Kill 4 different zombies, kill 3 different dragons. I mean, that's pretty easy to do. And then you defeat every spike tile in Ice Cave. That can be a little more difficult because... Or no, it's not too difficult because they're all together. Yeah, it's all one big loop. So, I mean, once you find that Ice 4 location where the eye is, you know, you can hit all those tiles.
Yeah, that is a good point. That's probably the best dungeon to have every trap tile for. If it was Earth, you'd have to find, what, 3 different floors?
Yeah, you'd have to find a bunch of different spike tiles. That would have definitely have been an interesting one. Talk to the Hooray Dwarf with Guillotine on. Poor Hooray Dwarf is going bye-bye. When that happens, Crabcakes, please look away. Oh, we got our carry pull here. Quickest way out of this dungeon. Caleb says, I've defeated Warmack. I can take you on, but Egg 3, bye-bye.
Dang, you would probably know. How many bats are there in Earth Cave? Because with Guillotine on, they're gonna have to find several of them.
Darren Drice, how dare you assume I would know that number? Actually, I don't actually know that one. Unfortunately, Caleb, though, running low on charges, he's in trouble here. I don't know how many more newcasts Egg 1 has, but that Quad X did not hit. Oh, he's out of nuke. He's got Brack. Brack does a decent chance. I've seen it hit. It's not great, but, you know, it might work in this situation. For Griggly, it is inverted MDEF, so that's actually good. Quad X hit, so that last nuke by Ed was huge for Caleb. Able to make it through because of that.
And when you consider as soon as possible means Caleb is at least level 23, it's not as big of a disadvantage as you might have expected, even if invert MDEF weren't on.
Yeah, it's... BB is... Black Belt gets 3 per level, and Master gets 4, so... yes, they have free orbs, so you don't actually have to defeat the Fiends. They just have to find Loot, Key, and Temple of Fiends, and then they have to get their 2 bingos. And Danny is yelling at me in chat saying vendor item was in Elflin for 18,000, so that could be important.
So now Ice 2, that one isn't in the loop. So will Ice 2 be randomly... It can be anywhere, can't it? It doesn't have to be in with the rest of the Ice Cave?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Ice 2, because Spellzapp has to do a full lap of Ice 2. That one isn't in with the loop with the rest of Ice Cave. So that one could be randomly on any floor, right?
That's that racetrack that's in the form of a square.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's Ice Floor 2. They actually have to do a full lap of that. Fast is level 5. That is learnable. Red Wizard learnable. So that's good to find. There's another Warmac for Spellzapp. I mean, Experience a Pinata. Can we get a nuke? There it is. Nuke. More levels for Spellzapp. Remember, every key item that these runners find is 10% extra experience. So, if we find a bunch of experience early on, that experience we get, or the experience required to level gets reduced. And there's Tiamat. That is a square in, I believe, column 5.
That's good for Caleb as well, because that's 2 of his 4 zombies right there.
Fade level 3. That is Red Wizard learnable after promotion. Ruse, also Red Mage learnable. Wow, great music. Or great magic. I don't think I'm allowed to roll anything.
This is better than a Danny seed, at least.
Oh yeah, and that's a good point. By Sirius points out there is Bane the Dragon, so they do have Bane. They can Bane that the Tiamat, get that excuse me, row 4 square also. Alright, let's see. Caleb's going to fight. Is to and Brack. He's not going to try and Bane. I don't think he must not have bought Bane. Or he just doesn't care. I'm going to assume he just doesn't care and doesn't have it.
Looks like Spellzapp is on his way up to check what... Oh, maybe not what the crown is. I keep forgetting that the floors are shuffled.
Oh, entrance and floor shuffle. Tiamat is down. Caleb gets another square in column 5. So we find a couple more dragons for Caleb, and he's good there. And just needs to find the Bat Party Room, which is in that upper left room where the vampire is. He just needs to go hang out with all the bats that are just hanging out there. Oh, here's a Hooray Dwarf chat. No. Is he just... Oh, just do it, Spell. Oh my goodness, Spellzapp. Talk to the Hooray Dwarf. Get your... Mr. Nice Guy himself.
That really... Column 2 for Spellzapp wouldn't be too hard, since he already isn't able to use Fade.
Oh, there's Canaria Castle and Marsh, and there's Kraken's floor. Wow. We get a canoe from the king, and the defense sword. Wow. That's a nice thing to find, too. So we found 3 of the fiends already. We don't need the fiends, but we found them. The good news is Caleb can actually do column 4 by Bracken the Kraken.
No, Chibato, they both need 2 bingos. One has been chosen by the other runner, and the other one is up to them. Caleb has to finish row 1, and Spellzapp has to finish row 4, as was chosen by their opponent.
Oh, the hold lands on that black belt. We're trying to get Brax to hit Kraken to get that square. Ineffective. Kraken is refusing to cooperate. Never mind. There it is. We have broken the Kraken in pieces. Alright. So we got some exploring to do. Spellzapp's going to kind of follow where Caleb is at this point. Darren Drice, looking at this, where is Caleb going after doing row 1? He's got column 5. And he could technically do row 5 also, because he's in that same boat too.
Yeah, row 5 really wouldn't be too bad for him. But, I don't know, column 5, he's already got Tiamat down. There's definitely plenty more dragons out there. Of course, you don't know exactly where all of the random dragons are with everything being shuffled tonight. But column 4 isn't horrible for him either. You're probably going to hit level 40 with at least 1 character tonight. And I would think, he might promote as soon as he can. It's not a disadvantage in any way with MDEF being inverted.
I mean... Nuke comes out. Caleb's able to survive. Spellzapp, I believe, has Bane, so he should be able to take advantage of it. Didn't he get it? No, it must have just been Brack. For some reason, I thought Bane was in the lower levels. So, doing the same thing. First turn by Tiamat. Spellzapp taking a second to consider his options. We're doing some War Mech hunting by Caleb here. Big shot from the nuke, some high rolls. Kills off Egg 3 just before killing of War Mech. Those red mages are gaining levels. So for anybody that has just joined here, my name is Dang Wu. Darren Drice, one of our up-and-coming newer players, has joined me in the broadcast booth. Danny3883 is doing the tracking in the background, trying to keep us up with all the key items. It's not a whole lot this time, though, so she gets to sit back and yell at us. Right off the start, Darren Drice, essentially our runners fought a War Mech, and were able to kill a War Mech inside of, what, 2 minutes? Because War Mech rolled less than 360 health.
Yeah, I think at 3.5 minutes, they were both at about 83,000 gold going into Canaria.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. You know, they come in and, You know, it's just, oh, look, we're rich. And for everybody that is asking, yes, Caleb is purple, Spellzapp is red. Or wait, yeah, got myself confused for no reason. Ooh, the ever elusive unicorn that is the T-Rex. Hello, gorgeous.
Their Spellzapp takes out 2 of the 3 kinds of ogres that you would need, so that at least gets most of a square.
So we're going for the Brack of the Kraken. Oh wow, Spellzapp was able to Brack Tiamat first turn, Brack's Kraken first turn, saves a bunch of time over Caleb, who unfortunately had to take a bunch of shots to do it, a bunch of spellcasts. Caleb's looking pretty good there on column 2. Hasn't used any cabins. Hasn't used any houses. Talk to the Hooray Dwarf. He just needs to see Flash or Trance, which is actually kind of rare, except for when you don't want it to happen, then it shows up everywhere. And thanks to Felk for gifting out a sub. You are the MVP of tonight. Appreciate it.
And as Cernus mentioned earlier, Caleb went a little crazy with the shuffling on this seed. He did tri-state all 4 Fiend dungeons, as well as Canaria and Marshlock, but also tri-stated just about all of the optional incentive items, like the Mass Mune, Warpole, the Defense Sword, and kept Ribbon on just to be a stinker.
Yeah, that's what he does. But, so to point it out there for the question chat from Glunchu, use no swords actually means you can't use, or you can't equip a sword and attack with it. You can use the effect. I actually had talks with Zenobian about this, because when he first originally ran it, I talked to him about it, and that's how he wanted it. You can't attack with them, but you can use their abilities. There has been...
Thank you, folks, for the gifted subs to Danny and myself as well. Also, make sure that you follow the runners if you'd like to see more FFR action from them.
Yeah, I mean, these guys deserve it, and look, Caleb has already hit level 30 too. So one of the things is he's actually selected it, so now Spellzapp knows what level Caleb is right now. It's one of those weird things. It's one of those mind games where technically he probably doesn't have to click it, but he clicked it. Oh, we got Earth. We're close. That's almost to Earth floor 3 to hang out with the... Ooh, Warmack with Paralyzing Touch. Oh, perfect.
That's okay. Warmack still doesn't have a whole lot of health.
That's right. That's one glorious thing about it. Nice dive down here by Caleb. Ooh, more money, even though we're already rich. Excalibur -4. Oh, such a good sword when it's +5. That is definitely true, Glunchu. Danny is the MVP. You have no idea how many times she ats me in Discord and yells at me to tell me that I have messed up somewhere.
I mean, even with Danny, I am lost, but you know what? I would be completely lost without Danny's tracking.
That's right. But for everybody out there, though, too, I just want to let you know, we do have Spring Tournament that is starting, or the signups will end March 15th. We have the requirements for 6 weeks of Swiss. So please join up, honestly. If you want to give it a try, come on down, hang out with us, race with us. Even if you don't want to race, we have a spectator role that will allow you to keep up with everything that's going on with the spring tournament and Irongol. We give out broadcasts or pings basically to tell everybody of when races are happening. So even if you don't want to race, you can come hang on the Discord, find out what's new. And Spellzapp actually finds the party room or the vampire room, the Rodlock room, I should call it. I'm calling it all sorts of different things here, but as you can see, Caleb's talking to bats because he's got one where you got to talk to 10 different bats. And we also have the hangout in the party room. So when Spellzapp goes in that top left room, you're going to see a room where there's a bunch of bats just hanging out.
Looks like they might both be going for the bats, or talking to 10 bats as well, because Spellzapp's definitely hitting a few along the way. And Bert, I don't know if I saw anyone go and check the secret linked chest on the carry floor.
No, nobody did. It is actually one that's very interesting. For anybody that doesn't know, what is it, the right room, when you walk into Carrie's floor, it is linked to one of the floors in Agama's, in the Agama floor. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but it's a cheeky check. I've seen it pay off for some runners, and there's our chime. So Mirage is accessible. Mormac decides to come hang out. Actually has a decent amount of absorb. Spellzapp's black belt did not do much on the punch, so I mean that was a 31 black belt. I mean it's not great, but as you can see, there is the party room right there, but there's a bunch of spike tiles right there. So, but it's definitely a big party in there. A bunch of bats just hanging out. Those are all the bats from the vanilla game that were on Earthfloor that we moved out of the way because, well, they were in the way and they were causing issues.
Spellzapp is being like the parent who comes home early and clearing out the bat room on his way.
So, yeah, I was going to say, for everybody, it's called Blurst, or it's what most runners are calling it. It's called Blurst. It's Blessed and Cursed. Weapons and armor can roll between +5 and -5, as Crackcakes just pointed out in chat. For weapons, that means for every point, you get 2 damage, 3 hit, and one crit. That's either plus or minus based on the points. Armor-wise, you get it's +1 armor, or 1 point equals 1 armor, unless it's in a chest piece, then it's 2 armor for each point. And then it also affects your evade also. So for, no, yeah, it's only beta and alpha. All armor slots except for the chest piece is 1 point for 1 absorb. If it's a chest piece, you get 2 per point. So things like an opal +5 gets insane. It's like a 42 absorb equivalent to a dragon armor, or a dragon armor becomes even more crazily absurd.
Even early game, things like cloth +5 is almost as good as a regular chain armor, so it's really nice for your mages when you can find those.
Yeah, like chain armors really early on can be really good with a +5. Iron armor does a lot of work. And then on the weapon side, Xcale +5 I think becomes a really, really, really good weapon because of the increased crit chance, which is what it misses. or it lacks, and it gets that extra plus 5% crit.
Yeah, the attack on an Excal +5 is 1 less than Mass Immune, but you still get the elemental weaknesses, attacking towards the elemental weaknesses, and the crit is higher. It's over double, almost 2.5 times what a normal Mass Immune would be.
Alright, so, Darendrice, I know we've been kind of going on about the Blurst weapons here. There's been a little bit that's going on, as you can clearly see on the board. Spellzapp is essentially 1 or 2 dragons away from having column 5 done. He still has 2 more in row 5 to do, but he's really close. Caleb needs to kill a couple ogres and defeat every spike tile in Ice Cave if he chooses that. Or he can try and find Flash or Trance, and he still has 3 on his row 1. So, I mean, both of our runners are getting very close here, but their forced rows are kind of holding them up, I think, more so than anything else.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and you know, I don't think either one's gonna bank on like seeing that Flash of Trance. I don't think Caleb will, but if he does, then that's excellent, and you know, he's got it there.
Mage Staff, not as useful now since we've got Nuke level 1. Don't really need it. But one good thing is all those items, if you look at that row 2, gain 40,000 gil in one shot. That means you have to sell things. And because they sell for half price, you have to take that in account when selling items. Linkshot, this is an Irongol match. This is the 2-time defending champion Spellzapp up against the ever so hot Caleb. He is the number 3 ranked contender who's basically ran up the leaderboards or the rankings and got priority to be able to challenge the champ. Oh, yes it is. It is a specially created bingo set that Xenovian and Darkmoon have been working on. It is their own variant of it. So it is from the bingo sync. It's just their own setting. I don't remember what the thing is on there, but it is on there.
For anyone that's coming in, they do both have to do 2 bingos. Caleb has to finish row 1, which Caleb is purple on the bingo card, and Spellzapp has to finish row 5, as was chosen by their opposite runner, and then they can choose whichever row or column they would like for their second bingo.
Technically, no, they don't need the floater. All they need is the loot and key, along with having double bingo. Now, one interesting thing here, though, that we're talking about, or one thing that's kind of that can do is gambling that in Temple of Fiends, maybe to see Brack or Bane. You know, if that's all you need is, like, that one that says see Brack or Bane, you might gamble that one of the Fiends that is in Temple of Fiends Revisited has that. You just cannot defeat Chaos and end the time until you have actually done that. And Spellzapp acts like he's going to take out Hooray Dwarf, but says, Crab Cakes, I'm going to be nice today. You don't have to look away.
They might need, or at least Spellzapp might need the floater in order to find Bahamut, because as far as I know, we have not seen Well, if Spellzapp had seen Bahamut, we would have a promoted party.
No, and that's actually a very interesting point that you say that, though, Darren Dreiss. And it's a good thing that you're bringing up is for Spellzapp, he has to find Bahamut. So he cannot. He has to do that. So if it's behind Floater Lock, he's got to find it. So we can basically say is Caleb is not very nice for putting that on him, but Caleb's coming in here hot and says, "I'm going to take down the champion," and that's what he did. No, and that's a good point that Sedman says too. Is to defeat every spike tile that's in Ice Cave, it might be behind Airship too. That's a very good point.
Caleb is having a Temple of Ordeals that I would normally be seeing, where you found the entrance to it twice.
You are absolutely right, Al. Caleb is row 1 and Zap is row 5. Yeah, that's one thing. If there is obviously more bingo, we'll make sure that we get the colors matched up properly on the bingos. Sorry about that, folks. So, for anybody I'm going to remind everybody once again, Spellzapp is red, Caleb is purple. I know, it's very mixed right now.
Oh, Spellzapp has a phantom sighting. That's always what you want to see.
No, not.
That was a high experience phantom with 53.
Woohoo! So we're still finding, I believe we found the key. I think it was Spellzapp that found the key so far. Yeah, the blacksmith, Smithy McBeardsword had the key. So that is one of our required items that we need. So we still haven't seen Brack or Bane. There's our floater gift from Caleb. So Ordeals pays off very well for Caleb here.
It's been so long since he went in that I wasn't sure where it was. Oh, looks like it's at Waterfall.
Okay, I mean, that's a cheeky check. I like it. I mean, I guess I wouldn't call it a cheeky check, but it's definitely a good check that is paid off here. His Spellzapp's levels are getting insane at this point. As you can see, he has hit level 43. The black belt has 10 hits. That black belt is a train, as is pointed out by Gloom2 in chat. Thomas the Train Engine is in full effect. You know what I'm wondering is, once Spellzapp hits level 50, does he raise the White Mage just to gain levels, just because?
That's a good question. I mean, with these war mechs, and you would gain levels very quickly, but it also would slow him down a little bit because he wouldn't have the animation of writing all of the level ups anymore.
No, that's very true. I was just curious. I mean, Fade was level 3, so
but
it's not like
he can't use Fade though. That's that might be part of why he's keeping it down. But Spellzapp's row 5.
Oh, do not use fade. Forgot about that one. You know, see, this is why I'm never going to take you on in double anti-bingo, because I can't pay attention to those.
Oh, I can barely keep track of the runners and the bingo at the same time, so I figured I should focus in on one thing.
Alright, so it's... I believe it's the Whiz Ogres that both runners need. They've already defeated the Green Ogres and the regular Ogres. So we're looking for that. That's a possibility. And then we also need to find the Ice Cave where the vanilla floater usually is located. If we want to go, or Caleb has to go for that one for sure.
I think Caleb is going for the 40,000 in one shot right here.
Oh, he's just buying a bunch of them?
Yeah, it looks like he's buying and selling gold rings in order to get his 40,000.
Smart move by Caleb here. He's gonna buy and sell, buy and sell. I mean, he's got so much money. Easy to do. Well played by Caleb. Danny, if you could please make sure to verify that the math checks out and Caleb actually sold 40,000 worth of items. That'd be much appreciative.
Danny, I'm so glad you decided to track tonight.
Wow, 9 hits, 995. Basically, triple the damage, or triple the damage that Wormack has in health. That is a lot of math by Salmon. That is definitely true. We're gonna the crazy old, well, the not so crazy old men.
With everything else that Caleb turned on, I'm surprised Confused Old Men isn't one of them.
But the adamant is the key, so when he turns that in, that is required, so that's very important for Caleb. Spellzapp gets the floater, exits out. He's over here. He's got the Oxia. He can actually check out to see what this location has. What does the Onrak... Oh, it's Waterfall. This might be loot. This is something Caleb has not checked. Oh, the procedurally generated waterfall is pretty easy to get to. I mean, about 100 yards to the right, and we got ourselves the robot hanging out. Armor, tent, ruby. That's not great, but Titan's Trove is required, or well, is incentive, so that could have the loot. But we get a ribbon for our troubles. And I feel like we're gonna have to get a Zenobian ruling on that one. I do agree. I don't think he got into profit, but I guess it doesn't say profit. So I guess technically he did gain 40,000.
I do like that suggestion, Link Shot. It would definitely make you have to consciously decide to sell either the best defense or the best weapon that you have for someone.
This is the party bat room that we seen earlier for Spellzapp. Caleb's going to be able to do it. This is going to tell Spellzapp where Caleb is. That also gives Caleb a bingo. Now he just needs to concentrate on that top row.
He is finding some Frost Dragon, so that's one more of his 3. I'm trying to think of, because
is you gotta find the red dragon. You still gotta find zombie dragons, and since they're shuffled across all encounter or all zones. There's the party room. Bingo for Caleb. He needs one more. And then he'll be in bingo. I don't like that pun, but I like it.
That is a good question from Sandman Ahoy. Are zombie dragons both zombies and dragons?
Yes. So let's see. Spellzapp still gotta take on the 3 dragons. Gets himself set there. And we still haven't found Ice Floor 2. And the promotion is obviously going to be hidden behind somewhere in the floater, more than likely. Oh, Derringer Ice, it's so close. Our runners are just, they're getting there. Especially with all these early levels. I don't even think Temple of Fiends is really going to bug them. Not at all, with all these high levels.
Yeah, I don't see anything that can really stand in their way. Even if you have a couple of tough fiends in there, there's not, you know, with level 50 pretty much on everyone, there's not a whole lot that can get in your way. And Hot Fuzz, both runners have to get 2 bingos tonight before they finish, otherwise they will not have, it's not considered to have won the seed. So Caleb has to finish row 1 and Spellzapp has to finish row 5 because each of them chose a row or column for their opponent, and then they also have their choice of a second row or column which they can finish. So that second one is whatever they find first or whatever they feel like trying to get, and they have to get 2 at least before they can finish the game in order to win. That's one of the lovely things about the Irongol matches is you see a lot of different flags and a lot of different modes of playing, and you can really randomize as much as you would like to.
Caleb has now also killed 2 different ogres. I mean, I know it's not one that he needs to go for at this point. Masamune +2. Pointed out in chat earlier, that's a nice weapon. Not really needed at this point, but... And as you can see here, Spellzapp has raised up Zoe the White Mage now that all of his characters have hit max level. So the White Mage is gaining levels now too. Oh, yeah, there's Lich. Do we have cake? No.
But we have seen it. We did see it level 2 in Provoca.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to go for it. I don't think he needs to.
And there is the fabled zombie dragon.
That is. I think that gives him... Oh no, he hasn't killed 4 different... Because he's only killed ice dragons, and he's killed those zombie dragons. So he still needs either gas dragons or the red dragons. Not under this context, no. When we're saying 3 different dragons, it's the red, frost, gas, and zombie dragons. Yeah, the blue dragon is the frost dragon.
Oh no, blue would be in there as well. There's blue dragons
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
it's just blue too. Yeah, but you know. Zombies look like zombies. I mean, yeah. Under the context, they're zombies. There's a slab pickup for Caleb. Oh, a bunch of hot air looking at them, and uh-oh, Caleb's running out of nuke charges. He went on a nuking spree and realized that he's almost out of spell charges.
So Caleb is still looking for his key and the loot, and Spellzapp found the key, and now actually the loot. So Spellzapp, in terms of the game, is in go mode. He just needs to finish his bingos.
Yes, he does. Whoa. Can he find at least one more dragon to defeat? That'll get that one, or that'll get the row 1, column 5. So he's gonna check out Mirage. Warmack hanging out. He's gonna get some more experience here. Get Zoe upgraded. Let's see. Level 40. Oh, there's our ice. There's our ice loop. That actually helps out Spellzapp also, because now if we find Wiz Ogres, that gives him bingo also. He might be in one of these spike tiles. If he decides, yeah, there he goes. Keys. Now he can't just run, he has to defeat them all. Very important here. Heal +4.
Now, if it were you, Danglu, would you mark the tile for defeat every trap tile if you knew that your opponent had to get it, just to show off to them that you had found where it was?
It's one of those things. Ooh, iron goals are there. I mean, yeah, I probably would. But it's one of those mind game type of things. Do you show it or do you not? I mean, considering he knows that Caleb needs that one, maybe not.
I know if it were me, I would probably do it just to gloat a little bit, but I tend to take my small victories in FFR whenever I can because I'm not used to seeing the large victories.
We just seen there the Hooray Dwarf with max evade, able to avoid Caleb's pressing of the A button there for many times. Nice moves there, Hooray Dwarf. Unfortunately, Caleb finally casting some lock spells was able to take out the Hooray Dwarf.
Yes, Dragway Pup, that is correct. He does need to kill 3 different dragons. I believe we've seen frost dragons on Caleb's screen and possibly the zombie dragons as well.
Yeah, we've seen the zombie dragons. I believe that was on Spellzapp's side. I'm not sure if Caleb's... it's kind of hard to keep track. It's one of the interesting parts about these double anti-bingos is trying to keep track of which each runner has found so far. Yes, it is Death Chemist. This is double anti-bingo speedrunning. And that is the last one for Spellzapp. Will he mark it off? That is the last spike tile in Ice Cave. Doesn't look like he's gonna mark it off. Oh wait, he's going back down. Did he forget a spike tile? Or is he trying to search for something? What's he doing here? Everything just runs away from that level 50 black belt for Spellzapp. Oh, by the way, morale has been randomized. That is something that I should probably point out. Spellzapp is looking for spike tiles because he's afraid that he missed it. There he goes. Now he's selected it. He wanted to make sure he found it. So morale has been randomized. That means if we had the fear spell, or even without the fear spell, if chaos rolled low on the morale, we could see chaos running very quickly since we are max level.
And welcome in everyone from Speed Gaming 4, just to get you caught up a little bit. We're about an hour in, and they are doing double anti-bingo Final Fantasy Randomizer racing. So both runners need to complete 2 bingos. Each one can choose one of their own bingos, so a row or column of their choice. And Spellzapp needs to complete row 5, as was chosen by Caleb, and Caleb needs to complete row 1, as was chosen by Spellzapp before they started the race.
Yeah, this is... My name is Dangwoo. The voice you are hearing right now, the one that you just heard was Darren Dreiss, one of our newer players that has stepped into the broadcast booth to join me. Danny383 is our tracker, and as he said, this is double anti-bingo. And it looks like Spellzapp is found Bahamut. He's able to promote. He is 1 square away from getting his forced bingo done.
I feel like we've got a Speed Gaming randomizer in our chat here with the 3 different raids that have happened within minutes of each other. Welcome Speed Gaming 2 and 5, as well as 4 who came in just before you. And once again, this is the Final Fantasy Randomizer double anti-bingo, where both runners need to get 2 bingos, one of their own choice, and one which was chosen by the other runner. Spellzapp needs to get row 5 and finish row 5, so he needs to finish doing a full lap of Ice Floor 2, which neither of our runners have found yet. And Caleb needs to finish row 1, which was chosen by Spellzapp, and as far as we have seen, Caleb hasn't found the Ice Cave loop where all of the trap tiles are yet.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the colors there, Caleb is purple, and Spellzapp is red. It's a mix-up on our bingo board for our runners. We should have had them color-coded. So, sorry about that for the mix-ups on that part. Oh, looks like we have found the spike tiles for Caleb. Caleb now knows where Spellzapp has been at. Has to defeat all those spike tiles there. Crab Cakes in chat has pointed out that Spellzapp has killed both the frost and zombies. That is correct. So he's got at least 3 more dragons out there that he can defeat.
Death Chemist, we're very glad to have you in here and watching the streams. Also, anyone out there, if you have wanted to check out Final Fantasy Randomizer, now is a wonderful time. There will be a lot more Final Fantasy Randomizer coming at you with the spring tournament starting up next week. Signups are open through, I believe it's Monday night. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Danglu.
It's March 15th. So Sunday, yeah. So the Sunday at midnight, or at midnight Pacific time.
So come on out if you've been thinking about it. Please feel free to join us. There's runners of all different skill levels, and It'll be 6 weeks of Swiss flags, so one-on-one races as runners will be trying to win their way into brackets. And after the Swiss flags, we will have last chance qualifier, and then the 2 large races, last chance qualifier, and the final seeding run for those who have won enough games to make it.
You know, the one thing that we should probably point out too, Darren Joyce, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on right here, but Caleb is going to take on the last of the spike tiles in Ice Cave. For anybody that's just joined, in that top, Spellzapp is the the defending Iron Gold champion. Caleb is basically the guy that was at the bottom of the rankings, caught fire, and basically just started winning. Was able to take on Zenobian for the number 3 contender spot in Double Anti-Bingo. Won it, and because of number 1 and number 2 contenders have already lost to Spellzapp, they are kind of on a suspension, if you want to say. They're not allowed to challenge the champion again for a certain amount of time. So Caleb was then allowed to challenge the champion Spellzapp, and he went with his favorite, the Double Anti-Bingo. Twin Dagger, this is a double. So they have one forced that their opponent chooses, and then they have their own, whatever one that they want. Now, one good thing here, Spellzapp has found the volcano. I would say that this is good because Wiz vampires are normally there, but with encounter zones being shuffled, you just never know where the Wiz ogres have shown up. They could be anywhere.
And Caleb picking up his incentivized Drisbin, which we know it was incentivized with him getting it from Astos, who's a sure incentive location today.
And that's a very good point there, Craig Pace. It could be absolutely nowhere. And thank you for putting it out there in chat. Yes, Caleb is row 1, very close to getting it done. He is the purple squares, and Spellzapp is the red squares, and he's got to do row 5. So both of our runners are very close to being in bingo mode. And with the free orbs, they essentially only need loot and key, and we have access to Temple of Fiends Revisited. So once they have those double bingos, you will see them running into Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yes, Craggy, I believe that Spellzapp's looking for Ice Floor 2 and possibly one of the other dragons, because that is, or Flash and Trance, but I know that Flash and Trance is going to be a hard one to find.
Ooh, cheeky check by Caleb here. Possibly looking for the different zombies and dragons on the Temple of Fiends Revisited, so... And possibly ogres. You never know where that Wiz ogres are. So as I was explaining earlier, unfortunately, one oversight we did is we forgot to tell the runners to select their corresponding colors to match with their bingo. So I apologize for that. It's one of those things that you kind of learn as you go, so...
Now, I believe this is the first time we've seen double anti-bingo on a restream. Is that correct?
Yeah, we did one before I broadcasted it, but yeah, this is the first one. There's Wiz the zombie and a different dragon for Caleb, so he's found 2 plus another zombie. Spellzapp finds the dud, unfortunately. I kind of like what Caleb's doing there, Andres. He's gone into somewhere where he knows Spellzapp's probably not going to go. I mean, you know, he might, but you know, if it works out, if he can find, I think he only needs what, one or two more zombies, or one more zombie and one more dragon, and he's already in Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, and if nothing else, he's got information on Temple of Fiends, so he knows whether he needs to work on anything or, level up more, which was highly unlikely at this point.
And unfortunately, the downside of NPC Guillotine, you are able to destroy the rod and the loot lock. Unfortunately, that is something that we're working on to correct, but he does the smart thing and goes into his inventory and uses loot, so... After going on a bat killing spree, Caleb felt awful. Where's the commissioner, Bert? Get the commissioner in here. Somebody cue his music. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Scorpions. Will Caleb hang out in this earth floor of Temple of Fiends to see what's here? No, he's gonna go take on Lich instantly. Going to punch. One punch. Lich. Alright, we're on Carrie's floor. What is he doing? No, wait. Unless he's in go mode and he's being sneaky and didn't hit that... No, he hasn't fought 4 different zombies, has he?
I don't think that I've seen 4 different zombies from him.
I mean... It is very true, Death's Chemist. The Black Belt is basically One Punch Man. I guess it's 10 hits, but still does, 1 hit or 1 animation to do a lot of damage. Yes, it counts. Yeah. Yep. If you're able to Bane a Tiamat 2, it's the same thing. Obviously, Baning a Tiamat 1 is a lot easier. Caking the Dead, obviously, Lich 1 or 2. Now, as I was pointing out earlier, morale has been randomized. So, if any of these fiends roll low on the morale scale, you could actually see them running away. Now, it's still a chance of it happening, or not happening, but it's always entertaining to watch the fiends run away and everybody going, hooray! Marsh find for Spellzapp. That is incentive location. I don't think we really need it, but
He
comes
might be looking for the rod, as Crapcake pointed out earlier, which would open up some floors for finding that ice floor too.
That's true. That ice floor 2 seems to be slowing him down, unfortunately. I'm really curious how far, or what Caleb is trying to do. There's the rod lock for the rod for Spellzapp. Couple of nuke charges being casted, not even casted fast or anything. 8 hits, 992. See it, Kraken. You used to hit hard, but Egg 3 is the MVP.
Now, would it be possible for Rod to be in the vanilla mass moon chest?
No. No key items can appear in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
That was my only other thought of, unless he is trying to hope to find something on the next floor.
I mean, I thought he would go for each floor and, test out to see if he can find something. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, because now he's going to test out the air floor. So he's going to go down to the original Masa floor. There's slimes. That's not anything important.
Gregory, I don't believe we've seen Blue Dragon yet. We have not seen... we have seen Frost Dragon, but I don't know if we've seen Red Dragon.
We haven't seen red, blue, or gas. So it's kind of interesting to see him here. I mean, I like it. It's a big gamble because he's really close to it. Masa gives us about 6,000 gold. Hooray! Not as good as the pure mana. And there's an ogre. We've already killed that one, unfortunately. How great would it have been if that would have been the Wiz Ogre? It wouldn't have mattered much because he still has to kill the other stuff. But
And Spellzapp did dig that rod out of Marsh Cave, so now he can go and check what's behind the steel plate here in the Earth Cave.
mummies with blaze, that's not something you want to see. Oh, doing work on this high-level party here. The hubris of Caleb, putting him in a kind of a bad spot here.
And there is Spellzapp's Ice Floor too, so that will complete, as long as he can finish this lap, complete his row 5.
There is his full lap. And Caleb has to exit out. The gamble didn't pay off. But I like the play, though. Is he going back in? He's going back in. Alright, so Spellzapp essentially has found all of his force now. He needs to find... What's he got
I
left?
think he's going to a shop. He might go and sell off 40,000 gold worth of...
Oh yeah, he's gonna be in the bingo mode here. He's just gotta sell. He's gotta gain. He can't actually tell how much it is because he's got max money right now, which is kind of funny. Oh, that katana! Oh, that makes it so much easier. Sell that Excalibur, and that's done. Or just about that Thor, yeah.
Selling the mass moon as well.
He doesn't need it at this point. Sell the katana, that's 40,000. He's done. He gained 0 gold. Definitely true. Falconic, it is amazing. It has gained a lot of popularity and for good reason. It's a lot of fun. Oh, Spellzapp diving down hasn't clicked the option yet. I think he's just gonna randomly pop it up and say, done.
As we are closing in on the end of this match, potentially, make sure to follow the runners. Both Spellzapp and rafehatescaleb will give you lots and lots of Final Fantasy randomizer action in the future.
I can't believe these guys are gonna get done with the seed in an hour and like 25 minutes.
You don't think you could do that, Dangwoo?
I don't think I would have. I think I'd constantly be trying to just reset out of Warmech for a long period of time until I realized that he had that low of life or low of HP. And Caleb's trying to hunt down these different zombies. I mean, the blue dragon, the red, and the gas dragon hasn't shown up anywhere.
I think that's one of the things that really interests me about this double anti-bingo is you can really put your opponent at a disadvantage before you even start playing the game.
I mean, it looked like it was going to go back and forth between the two. Like, I kind of thought that Caleb would be kind of in a good spot with his squares, but, you know, the dragons weren't showing up, and the zombies weren't showing up. So he kind of got bottlenecked. I liked his gutsy call, you know, the big brain play, if you want to call it, of trying to go into Temple of Fiends to find them as he went. And two-time defending champion Spellzapp here, you know, did what he needs to do, and he's working his way down. Still looking. Oh, this is... Come on, Caleb. Arachnids. Yeah. We don't need you, arachnids.
Those enemies wouldn't be that tough to find if they weren't shuffled throughout the entire game either. Most people know pretty much where everything is.
No, and that's a very good point here. With the mass shuffling that has happened, we don't know where any of them went. And they can be buried too, because there's so many different encounter groups in each thing. You just don't know where they went, unfortunately.
And I think the Warmech being unleashed even throws an extra wrench in that, because you keep seeing Warmech what seems like almost every third or fourth encounter, so, you know, that just adds to the frustration of trying to dig out a specific enemy.
I guess while we got a little timer, Spellzapp is making his way down to complete the game. He's in the lead now, or, well, he's now definitely made a substantial lead now because of being able to complete his one required bingo line and found another one. As you can clearly see, he has the red squares, or the red marks. He's got row 2 and row 5, so he is in bingo mode, or bingo mode. If you like what Irongol is offering, we do have a bunch of it going on throughout this week. We've got Edgeworth versus Ragnarok on the 13th at 9 p.m. Don't know if it's going to be restreamed. It could just be on a multi-stream. Gouda versus Dark Moon EX will be happening on the 14th. Once again, don't know if that's going to be restreamed or not, but it will be available on the multi-stream for sure. And Ale Markin and myself, Dang Wu, will be on Speed Gaming Sunday. I believe it's at 9 o'clock is when we decided upon. So we will be on here on Speed Gaming, battling it out. I'm going to be trying to take the #1 contender spot away from Ale. So I hope to see you all there this Sunday.
And if you're looking to get into the Irongol, feel free to challenge any of the runners who are in it. Anyone can accept challenges from someone else.
Oh, Caleb finally defeats 3 different ogres. So that gives him 1, but he still needs to get that row 1, giving all sorts of fits. There's the Wiz Ogre. Oh, well, see, look, Danny's already corrected me. Oh, look, I would have been a half hour early to my thing. There's their gas dragons for Caleb. That's what he needed. Unfortunately, way too late. And I've just been informed that Gouda and Thunder have a match at 11? Is that tonight? It's going to be multi-stream, so Thunder could possibly be losing his number 2 contender spot to the commissioner himself, Gouda. So that's something to pay attention to.
That would be a big jump up for Gouda, who's currently 15. And that's part of the beauty, is anyone can challenge anyone else, and as long as they accept it, you can take their spot wherever they are in the ranking.
Spellzapp has defeated Tiamat here. Finds some Ochos just before the Chaos floor. Looks like he's just gonna punch him down. Says, I got one punch, man. I got awesome health. See you later. So, the one thing is the challenger... So the person that's challenged doesn't have to accept it. The challenger just simply offers some flags and says, hey, are you interested in this? It's kind of an unspoken rule that the one challenge, if they want to change something, can, change the flags a little bit. Offer something that, hey, I don't really like that. So it's kind of all... Everybody's being nice, essentially. And we have Chaos being pulled by Spellzapp, the two-time defending champion. Trying to make it 3. Chaos swings for 82. That's not going to do a whole lot there, Chaos. You're going to have to do a lot more. One Punch Man's about to show you how it's done. He's waiting. More defense and a Brack. Is he trying to land Brack? Did he land an X-Fer and I didn't see it?
He did land an X-Fer.
He landed an X-Fer first try, and he's going to try and Brack Chaos. I love it. Brack Chaos. Break him into pieces. Come on. Give it to me. That raises it up to like a 6% chance. Actually, wait. Let me see if this one flag is on. I lied. That makes it less. No, it still should be 6. But on top of that, if Chaos rolls low morale, he could run away. But based on the fact that Chaos hasn't ran yet, I would assume he didn't roll low morale. Yes, Twin Dagger. I'm assuming because he sees that Caleb is not in bingo mode. He has time to mess around. I like it. Sometimes you gotta do it for the fans. Come on, Brack, land it for us. If you didn't know, Spellzapp actually in one of his matches was able to confuse Carry 1 and get him into a loop where he essentially killed himself. 17 damage every 2 turns. It lasted 10 minutes, but he was able to get a loop of him, and Carry killed himself. So, sometimes you just have to do it for the fans.
Yeah, I've seen Spellzapp do quite a few things for the fans that I would never even think of trying to do. Just the level of knowledge that he has of this game is pretty amazing.
Oh, he's going for the zap. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, live up to that name. And Caleb destroys the poor little robot that's just hanging out by the window. That's not very nice. Oh, let's see. We're gonna wait. We got more zap cast coming out. A big shot by Dan, the black belt. Zap, ineffective. Give it to me. Oh, it's ineffective. Oh, he's punching. Come on, land that zap for me. You owe Felka zap. No, he's gonna punch him out with the black belt. GG for Spellzapp, the 3-time defending champion. With a time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 2 seconds, Spellzapp retains his title. Able to defeat the red-hot Caleb in his own game. Darren Drice, I'm not going to lie to you. I am terrified of Caleb. He's been on fire lately. I've watched a lot of his practices and stuff like that. He's been crushing it lately. And for Spellzapp to come in here and do what he did, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Caleb started out with myself and Will Bloodworth in the forfeit crew in the original match. He was cold for the first couple, and then he's just taken off like a shot and worked his way up to where he could challenge for the championship, and he really has put on quite the show. If he didn't have to find the 4 zombies, I think Caleb could have easily taken this one.
Oh, there were zombies and goals that he just found. And coming into the broadcast booth, full of swag, sweaty, and I couldn't land any of his instant kills. Spellzapp, the 3-time defending champion. How you feeling?
Hey, Dangmu, feeling great. That was probably the weirdest seed I've ever played, but you know, it's
Wait.
really delivered.
You mean to tell me you weren't expecting 2 nukes to kill a war mech in round 1 when it inked, and you said, "Look at that free experience"?
I can't say I've ever killed a war mech at a minute 30 before to get level like 13 or so.
I was telling everybody, I'm like, do you understand how much has to go right for anybody to kill Warmech that soon? Nuke early, Warmech rolls low, Warmech rolls ink that casts it first turn.
And apparently Warmech had nuke too, so chose ink over nuke. And so I think if I saw the nuke, I probably wouldn't have tried it again.
Well, yeah, because you're definitely not going to say, oh yeah, he rolled 356 health. I mean, come on.
the one-hit crit nuke kill.
I had a good laugh over that one. That was good.
Oh, yeah, I was dying.
So how'd you feel about this? And then I'll bring it over to Darren Dreister to probably ask a couple questions because he's been on point today.
Okay, well, if you want to ask any questions about my strategy, my answer is, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing that entire race.
I mean, that's fair.
How many chests do you think you pulled out of in that, or that you pulled stuff out of in that quest for finding the rod along the way?
The right amount? I'm not too sure. Not a lot, because I knew that there was still... Well, I knew that there were possibility of more incentive locations. So I was like, okay, well, let's try out incentive locations, like mermaids, sky, volcano, marsh locked, and then obviously marsh got me the rod. But I knew there was... Obviously, marsh was still a full incentive location. Marsh lock was half. So I didn't feel like I needed to open that many chests there, but I still wanted to clear out some places that were kind of annoying to come back to. Regrettably, I did exit out of that entrance, and I knew I had some other places to check those, and they were not good. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go back.
So I have to give this to you because it probably ended up being because I was there when you guys were choosing your rows and your columns, and you thought that he kind of played you dirty there by choosing that bottom row, that row of 5. But your decision to give him row 1 has been giving him fits because he cannot find enough zombies.
Oh no, yeah, that's I have no idea how, because that's got to be ridiculously hard to find 4 zombies, because you still need to find the zombie proper, right?
Yeah, you got to find the zombies, the geist, the ghouls, and the specters.
Yeah,
and we did see the zombies and ghouls pretty early on, so Caleb may have thought that he was sitting pretty on that, but I don't know that we've seen specters or the geists anywhere.
But it was just kind of funny though, because your reaction was, "Oh, I see what you're doing," and then it literally turned out that you flipped the entire thing out on him. It was great. And one thing that Darren Joyce had said was, if it was not shuffled, completely random encounters like across all zones,
Yeah.
you would have been able to hunt for him a little bit easier. But in this one, as you're watching Caleb right now, he has to go through each zone and go through the encounters to try and find them.
Yeah, I think we could be here all night if that was the case. If we both had to do that row.
And it's been brought up in chat that who knows if they were shuffled into Encounter 7, which the War Mech took over, and possibly not even in the game anywhere.
Well, I think they would have to be in the game somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure how that flag works mechanically, but all I know is it's a big pain, and I did not want to search for enemies, so I had that row in mind, and then I let him choose first, and then I dropped it on him, which was not necessarily nicest move, but
So, speaking of nice, because you are Mr. Nice Guy, you decided to not take out the Hooray Dwarf, and Crabcakes really appreciated that, but then she pointed out something. I mean, technically, you didn't really gain 40,000 gold in a shop because you were at max money.
you know that is true, but they did hand me the gold, and then I promptly dropped it on the floor. So I felt like it was gained, but then maybe just emptied out the other side of my pocket.
It's okay though, because Caleb, I think, actually lost more money because he was like buying and selling items to try and get that 40,000. So it's kind of funny that way. So, but Bert says Caleb was not screwed by bad RNG. He was by his own weird flag. So yeah, that's kind of true.
I gotta agree.
Were there any
Now-
changes that you made, Spellzapp, to the flags he sent you originally?
No, I took a quick little glance at them, and I was like, well, this is gonna be, something. So I kind of, I want to say I knew I wasn't gonna be able to practice for them, so I just put them off looking at them deeply until like yesterday. And then when I did look at him yesterday, I was like, whoa, this has got some potential to be pretty nasty, because it was pretty much the freest seed. We had level 1 nuke, and then obviously the War Mech. So you can imagine what these seeds kind of could end up being.
Yeah, I was thinking as we were going along that not using Fade could have been a lot more impactful if Nuke were something like level 8.
And unfortunately, Caleb has forfeited. I don't blame him on this, since he could not find the zombies. Unfortunate for him, but, that's just one of the things, unfortunately, with the double anti-bingo. It's a little rough. GG out to you, Caleb. He is about to burst in through that door at any moment here. Matter of fact, the music is played. There's Caleb. Rough luck, Caleb.
Yeah, it happens. GG Spellzapp.
GG, Caleb.
How close were you? I think I seen 2 zombies for sure.
I just needed to find specters. I found Geist, and I was trying to find them again, and I wasn't encounter manipulating early on, so I thought I found them on the bridge or Kraken's floor, because I felt like I found them pretty early on.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't find that pack again. And yeah, every floor I went to, I thought Marsh Split was going to be my savior, but it was not. I thought Topher, I was going to get lucky in Topher and find and they might have been in Topher, just on a floor buried in like encounter 8 or something. So,
well, that was one thing, is we seen you go into Temple Fiends for this. We're like, all he needs really is blue gas or red dragons, and we're like, well, if he finds that, that's one. You got column 5 now, and then I knew you need at least 1 or 2 of the zombies. I was like, if you find it there, you're already in Temple of Fiends Revisited. You're good to go.
Yeah, that's why I was digging up fights on TS floor, trying to find something, but resources started getting thin, so I was like, oh, I'll just get out of here, and then I'll just quickly go somewhere else, and then I saw Spellzapp check off the ice loop, and I was like, well, GG, dude. Like, there's no way I'm going to find it by the time you blow through Topher. But yeah, I mean, like, I think we were talking in the voice chat, and we were having a philosophical debate whether Zombols and Zombies count as zombies and dragons, because they should. Zombols should also count as zombies, because they're zombies.
It sounds like your chat and Twitch chat were pretty well on the same page, because I know we had talked about that along the way, wondering whether zombie dragons and those would count for double.
Yeah, because if it were that, I would have had both the squares, because Tia would have counted as a dragon, the Zombie D would have been like a 2-fer, and the Zombols would have got my other zombie for sure. But I did see the 3 zombie sprites. But yeah, it was still fun though. I like the sub 400 war mech and level 1 nuke was just amazing. Like, you could have asked for a more friendly seed for this kind of flag set.
Which was hilarious though, because when you guys actually, killed war mech, because Spellzapp actually did it first.
Yeah.
And the ink comes out and he kills it, and everybody's like, I don't think I would have tried that. It was just one of those weird things of who actually thinks that Warmech rolls 356 health.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it too. I was like, because I found like a heal potion in that box. I had saved it, so I was like, what's the worst that's gonna happen here? I just reset back to Canaria, so maybe I'll get lucky and he'll throw out a couple like a pretty easy skill like ink, or like punch out the white mage, and then I'll get 4 nukes off. And maybe he's in 3 to 4 nuke range. So, and he was in 1 nuke range if he didn't resist it. But yeah, I mean, like, I fooled myself by letting myself think that I was gonna do it. But freaking zombies, man, the zombie sprites. I was undone by I was hoisted by my own petard here.
That's kind of what Burt Reynolds did say. The bandit himself, Burt Reynolds, did point it out. You weren't outdone by bad RNG. You were outdone by your own weird flags.
Yeah, I mean, but I think had we not shuffled encounter zones, I probably would have won here. But because I could have just gone and dug it up. But I like the genesis of this flag set, how it was just a weird copy pasta that, created a weird broken interaction of flags, and it has been a ton of fun to play through these flags with Fizzle, and then with Lord Fizzlebeef and Zenobian for the other Irongol matches. And if I challenge people, it's going to be challenging them with these flags that will never see the light of day in like a tournament setting or anything like that. So it's like I mean, in theory, this could have been like a sub-hour seed easy if we had different bingo tiles.
But one thing that was brought up also is we got to make sure that if we do more bingo, is we got to match up the colors. One of you guys got to be red, one of you guys got to be blue to match up with the colors with the thing, because because Caleb was red, but he's actually purple, and Spellzapp was actually red, but he's blue on the thing. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were supposed to have colors. We could have easily done that, but this next time.
You could have said something in IRC chat, dang.
Yeah, come on, dang.
I mean, I thought about it, but I was like in the middle of the broadcast, and I was, I was in the mood. I was in the zone.
It's a rookie mistake, Spellzapp. You hate to see it happen in the broadcast.
Oof,
with a pro like Dangwoo.
Yeah, Deng was carrying me around, so you got to give him a little bit of a pass on that.
I'm sure you did great, Darren.
Oh, he did. It was excellent. I guess we're kind of going to final thoughts and move it along here, but you guys did an amazing job. I mean, it was a lot of fun for me or whatever, and the pure fact that the war mech early, that was fun. I mean,
yeah, it definitely trivialized the seed in a way, but it was worth it. It was worth it to have a war mech under 400 HP.
My final question for both of you is, now I know Caleb's been practicing a lot for spring tournament, but what are you guys looking to get out of spring tournament? And, are you looking forward to it? Or are you a little nervous about it? Or what's your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm not nervous about it. I think competing last year helped abate a lot of those nerves. I wouldn't say I've been practicing a lot. I've been doing a few pickup races here and there, but beyond that, I haven't been doing any practice really outside of pickup races. I haven't ran through a seed on my own or anything like that. So I'm expecting to go 1-5, maybe 2-4, because it's still gonna bite me. But I'm just looking to do better than I did last year. So 2-4 would be cool.
And I guess from you, the 3-time defending Iron Gold champion, Spellzapp, same question.
Get to the top of the mountain, see what I can do. I'm gonna need to kind of buckle down. I know it's in a week. I gotta make up my my route and then kind of practice a little bit, get all the mechanics back into top form.
So
and
is this, I'm sorry.
and really what I want to get out of it is face the best runners of Final Fantasy Randomizer and have good matches.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the spring tournament is about for me.
So before any more get out of the way, if you do want more Iron Goal action, if you look up on Twitch, Gouda632 versus Thunderclaw, they are actually taking a match in about, 3 minutes from now is when the match should begin, or right about now. So they do have a multi-stream up. If you're on Discord, you can look at it. It is in our race announcements. That'll be going on. The Commissioner Gouda is taking on the number 2 contender, Thunderclaw. So that should be an intense matchup coming up at 11 o'clock. So about 2 minutes away. Darren Dreiss, thank you for doing commentary with me.
Dangwoo, yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. I hope everybody had fun watching it. It was 2 wonderful runners playing a very unconventional seed and trying to dig everything out of it that they could.
You're absolutely right. They definitely showed that they are on it, and Caleb has been on fire for the past couple weeks here, and well-deserved, well-fought match by him. A little unlucky, but you know what? He still deserves our respect because you are a man on fire and to be feared when spring tournament starts.
Okay. Thank you for the kind words, Dangwoo. I don't believe it, but thank you.
Okay, Mr. Number 3 contender.
Hey, I got lucky pulling these schmucks into these kinds of flags, taking Zenobian strats. Like, I'm going to make people play weird stuff, and I'm going to take advantage of them by making them play weird stuff. And that definitely almost, the streak almost continued. But Spellzapp, you earned this one, buddy. Could have had you, but now I got to wait 3 weeks before I can challenge you again.
Sorry, man, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
okay
hopefully-
because I'm going to challenge you. It's fine.
Oh, well, I have no issues about beating you, dang. That'll happen. If there's one thing that history does, it's repeat itself. So
What do you mean? I'm going to beat Al this Sunday, take over that number 1 ranking contender spot, and then I'll take on Spellzapp. That's right.
well, with me losing here, does it now fall? Is it Edge in 4th place?
I believe
is it
Edge.
Bert?
It's Bert right now
Bert,
in 4th
Bert.
place.
So is Bert gonna challenge Spellzapp? I can't see
That's-
chance though.
That'd be nice.
That's
That'd be
that's a good question.
Well,
That's it.
I mean,
Spring
technically,
tournament,
I think he should
preview.
wait until after the Thunderverse Gouda match because the
Yeah, I want to be
rankings
Dang.
would switch. But let
Dang,
me
I
get.
need you to win so you can
I mean,
get.
if anything, Bert needs to challenge him now before, in case.
Yeah, before-
in
before
case
everything
Gouda
gets locked
beats
in,
Thunder. Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna get ourselves out of here. I appreciate you, runners, for setting this up. Caleb, I like the double anti-bingo that you had set up. Speed Gaming, thank you for working behind the scenes to get this set up and working with us. I very much appreciate it. You, the fans out there, I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to improve upon it. Make sure the colors are coordinated and all that good stuff. So thank you for being nice to us. Darren Dreiss, you have been an awesome commentary partner. I appreciate you coming in and doing this. Danny, of course, is the all-star tracker doing her thing and, keeping all the spectators, let everybody know when races are happening, organizing them, and setting them up with our broadcast partners. So appreciate it, Danny, for everything you do there. Darren Trice, why don't you take us out here, since this is your first broadcast, I believe. So get us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Dangwoo, for hanging out with me the whole time. And thank you for everybody out there watching. If you want some more Final Fantasy Randomizer action, as we said, Spring Tournament is about to start. So there will be plenty of Final Fantasy Randomizer being played and streamed over the next few weeks, next month and a half, and beyond. So please feel free to check it out. Come follow the runners, follow the broadcast crew, and once again, thank you all for coming in, and have a wonderful, wonderful night.